I found a video entitled Get Paid $800 a Week to Text. I watched the video, it's very intriguing. And one thing that bothers me with signing up with companies that pay you, some of them say they pay $500 per week, $800 per week, and what have you. The issue that I have with companies that pay you to text is that there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee with anything. I love to reach out to clients one-on-one rather than companies per se. I rather reach out to people who need those services, and I rather work with them one-on-one rather than work with a large company that pays you bi-weekly. Most of them pay you bi-weekly. Some of them may pay you monthly. There are companies that may even pay you on a daily basis. For me, I rather turn something into a business idea or an income stream or a side hustle rather than have someone to pay me like I'm an employee. Back in 2020, back when the pandemic happened, I found one of the coolest work from home jobs ever. And what I loved about it was actually through one of the people that I followed. I'm not going to say who it is. So anyway, it's one of the people that I follow. I still follow that person. And I was in their Facebook group, and I have been with that person, following that person since 2011. It's been years, right? So I'm going through the content and everything, and then suddenly I see a post pop up that says, I need someone to assist me with my chat, with my Facebook post, things of that nature. It was really, really easy. Also answering emails. And I was like, wow, I would love the opportunity to work with this particular person. It would be awesome. No payment was discussed or anything at that time. And so in my mind, I assumed that it would probably be something that's weekly or bi-weekly, So I thought that this would be a good deal. And I also, at that time, ran a social media management agency / copywriting agency on the side. And my goal was not to have to go back out to work at a dealership that I worked from as a social media manager / marketer. I loved what I did, but I didn't like there were some things going on as I was working at the dealership that I did not like. The pay was super low, and I was doing like 2 or 3 different jobs. So I was like, I do not want to have to go back to the auto dealership when they opened up. Remember, they opened up all the businesses back and people went back to work. My goal was not to have to go back to work. So this was godsend when I found this post. And I was kind of hesitant at first because I know the person was really, really, really strict about hiring people. And I remember her saying in the past that, she will, what's that term that people use when they say that? Not sift through every detail about you. I'm going to go through every detail about you to make sure that I'm hiring the right person. I had confidence built up in me, and I was like, I'm going to get this position. And the requirement was to do a 5-minute video. And at that time, I was still kind of hesitant about doing videos. I didn't really like doing videos, so I did the 5-minute video. I was very confident, and I got the first interview. I had to go through 3 interviews for this. And I was like, okay. So I went through the first video interview, and it was with the person that was kind of like in charge of the department that handled chat support and the Facebook group support. They called it client care, the client care department. So I interviewed with her, and I was like, wow, I have a feeling that I aced this interview. And I got an email the next day that, wow, she really loved me. So it was going to be to the second interview, which was the person that was kind of like, not the vice president, but kind of like the person that was oversaw all the departments, right? It wasn't a huge company. There was a lot of clients in the company, but it wasn't a huge company with different people working. It wasn't like your traditional corporate job where you have hundreds of people in the staff. It was like a handful of people who worked on staff. I could count the people. It was like 3 people. So anyway, the next interview was with that person, and I was saying to myself, I'm going to ace this interview, okay? I aced the interview. I got the email that I was going to interview with the owner of the company. And I was like, wow, I actually get a chance to speak to the owner of the company. The only time I ever spoke with the owner of the company is if there was like a class that I was involved with. Like I said, I followed this person. I took some classes with the person. So the only time that I actually spoke to the person one-on-one is if I had a question, like during a Zoom call, something like that. But I was actually going to speak to the person one-on-one. So I spoke with the person. I'm like, I'm going to ace this interview, okay? And I aced the interview. She hired me on the spot. And she had said that it's $1,500 per month, and I would be answering emails, answering chat support, and time once in a while, maybe something through Facebook if people had questions. She actually had someone who was in charge of the Facebook group, but I would help out once in a while. It would be 5 hours per day, 25 hours per week, and it was so cool. Okay, she asked me to send over my payment details so that she could send me the payment. And I was to begin with training with the person, the original person, the first person that the first person that spoke to me, that interviewed me, I should say. And it was so cool. As she was going through the interview, she liked my experience. She liked my enthusiasm. That's why it's so important when whatever type of interview you do with a client, whether it's a client or with a company that you're going to work from home or remotely with, it's so important to have a positive mindset because they could see that through the camera. It's so important. So she said both people who interviewed me, they liked my enthusiasm, and I was like, a go. So I was so excited. And also there was one thing that I had to do was to listen into her masterclass once a week. It's for 2 hours. It was like I was getting paid to learn. And at the time, I didn't have the budget to invest in her VIP masterclass. And I was like, oh, I would love to be in her VIP masterclass. Because I was working remotely through the company, she gave me access to the masterclass. So it was like I was getting paid to learn. It was so, so, so cool. And it wasn't an influx of calls. It wasn't an influx of people in the chat. The work was super, super easy. I was able to cook for my family and my daughter and my husband. I was able to cook while I had my earphones on and had my laptop set up, but I had the access to an app. So whenever a person chimed in through chat, I was able to answer the call or answer the chat from my phone as I was cooking. It was so, so cool. The only issue I had with it is that I wasn't really allowed to go to like the bookstore or go to the cafe or go to, during that time, it was partially opened, during the pandemic. So I was able to go to the park. I had to stay put. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm going to do another video about this on how to do this. I actually have a Facebook group, guys. If you're interested, I can give you more details about that. But I don't want this video to be too long. But anyway, it is so cool to be able to work from home, especially when you work with people who are cool to work with. Getting paid up front was so cool. But anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Watch out for my future videos. Please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this so that you can get more videos about this. I will speak to you guys soon.